90 days, 400 people would be sold. Families separated, children taken, lives erased. And his name was on that list. But Isaiah Crow wasn't panicking. He was calculating. Because for 18 years, he had been building something. Not just houses. A network. 18 mansions. 18 hidden systems. Rooms no one knew existed. And in 90 days, he was going to use all of them. Not to escape alone, but to disappear. With 200 people. Right under the noses of the men who owned them. Long before the countdown began, Isaiah learned the first rule. Survive first, think later. He was born in Savannah lowlands, humidity thick, air heavy, land that never really cooled. By the time he was 10, he understood something most boys didn't. Nothing belonged to him. Not the house he slept in. Not the tools he touched. Not even his own family. His father was gone before he could remember his face. Sold. Just. Gone. His mother never said where. Because saying it out loud made it real. So Isaiah learned early, you don't hold on to things here. You learn how to work. And if you're lucky, you learn how to think. His hands found wood before anything else. Not because he chose it, because someone else did. A carpenter needed help. Isaiah didn't complain, didn't ask questions. He watched. And that's what made him different. Most men learn to follow instructions. Isaiah learned to understand them. Grain direction, pressure points, weight distribution. By 15, he could look at a wall and see what was behind it. Not guess. No. That's when Otto Klein arrived. A German craftsman. Precise. Quiet. Different. He saw something in Isaiah and decided to teach him. Not openly, not where others could see, but slowly, carefully, deliberately. He didn't just teach carpentry. He taught concealment. How to build a panel that didn't look like a panel. How to hide space inside space. How to make something exist without anyone knowing it was there. False backs, hidden hinges, pressure sequences. Openings that didn't respond to force, only knowledge. And one sentence, Isaiah never forgot. Anyone can build a wall, but a master decides what that wall is hiding. When Otto left, he didn't leave much behind. Just tools. And an idea. That buildings could keep secrets. For a while, Isaiah just worked. House after house. Project after project. Liable. Invisible. Exactly what they wanted. A man who could build anything, and ask nothing. Then, everything changed. One afternoon, he heard it. Not shouted, not announced. Whispered. His wife, gone. Sold. His son, sold somewhere else. His daughter, not even a year old, gone too. Different directions. Different buyers. No chance of finding them again. Isaiah didn't break. That's what surprised people. No anger. No shouting. No reaction at all. He finished his work that day. Clean. Precise. Perfect. Like nothing had happened. But something had. That was the moment. He stopped building for them. And started building against them. The first room came a year later. Small. Hidden behind a bookshelf. No one asked for it. No one noticed it. That's what made it perfect. Isaiah stood inside it once. Just to test it. No light. No sound. Completely invisible. He could have used it. Could have hidden. Could have run. But he didn't. Because one room wasn't enough. So he built another. And another. Year after year. House after house. Always perfect. Always hidden. Never used. Just waiting. Until the moment. It would all matter. And in December 1855, that moment arrived. Isaiah's name was added to the auction list. March 7th. 400 people. And for the first time, In 18 years, he stopped waiting. Because now, the network wasn't a secret anymore. It was a weapon. After 18 years, Isaiah finally had a reason to use it. Not one room, all of them. But a network is useless without people. And people are the most dangerous part. Because one wrong word, one moment of fear, and everything collapses. Isaiah didn't start by speaking. He started by watching. Who had already lost everything. Who had nothing left to protect. Mothers, about to be separated from their children. Men, already marked for sale to the deep south. People who understood. This was the last chance. He never approached them directly. Not at first. Instead, he used something far stronger than words. Trust. Built slowly, over years. A favor here, a warning there. Small things that people remember. Then, he spoke. Quietly. To one person. Not about escape, about possibility. If you had a place to hide, would you risk it? Some said no. Too dangerous. Too impossible. Isaiah never pushed them, because fear spreads fast. But belief spreads slower, and lasts longer. One became two. Two became five. Each one, carefully chosen. Each one, told only what they needed to know. No one knew the full plan. Not yet. Because if anyone was caught, they couldn't betray what they didn't understand. That was the first rule. Compartmentalize everything. The second rule, structure. 200 people is chaos. So he divided them. 14 groups. Each with a leader. Not the strongest. Not the loudest. The calmest. The ones who didn't panic. The ones who could think when everything went wrong. He met them one by one. Never in the same place. Never in the same pattern. Teaching them, not the whole map, just their part of it. A sequence of movements. A location. A signal. Nothing more. Some didn't believe him. Hidden rooms, inside master houses? Impossible. So Isaiah did something risky. He showed them. One leader, one house, one wall, and when it opened, everything changed. Because belief no longer required imagination. Now it had proof. From that moment, the network became real. Then came the hardest part. Timing. And they'd be hunted for weeks. Too late, and they'd be locked down for auction. Isaiah chose the only window that worked. 1 week before. When no one expected it. When guards were distracted. When attention was somewhere else. February 28th. The night everything would begin. Then, logistics. 200 people. Need food. Water. Time. He couldn't stock the rooms. Too risky. So he did something smarter. He distributed the burden. Each person carried a little. Nothing obvious. Nothing suspicious. But together, enough to survive. The final piece was silence. No signals. No markings. No written plans. Everything lived in memory. Because memory can't be searched. Can't be seized. Can't be proven. By mid-February, everything was ready. 200 people, 14 groups, 18 hidden locations. 1 week to move through all of it. And one man who held the entire map inside his head. On February 27th, the night before, Isaiah didn't sleep. Not because he was afraid. Because he was calculating. Every step. Every risk. every way it could fail. Because if it failed, it wouldn't just cost him. It would cost everyone. 200 lives, balanced on a plan no one else fully understood. And yet, he was calm. Because for 18 years, he hadn't been waiting. He had been preparing. And now, there was nothing left to build. Only one thing left to do. February 28, 1856. 9 p.m. The plantation looked the same. Same lanterns, same guards, same quiet routine. Nothing felt different. That was the point. Because if anything felt different, it meant they were already dead. The first group left at 9:15, not all at once, not together, one by one. Like nothing unusual was happening. A man heading to the well, a woman stepping outside, a child following, just far enough behind. By the time anyone noticed, they were already gone. Isaiah's group left at 10:30. 13 people. No talking, no hesitation. They moved through the edge of the fields, into darkness. The sky was overcast, no moon, perfect. Every step, calculated. Every turn, memorized. They didn't run, running makes noise, they walked, like they belonged there. 4 hours later, they reached it. The house. Richland Mansion, 3 floors. Brick walls, windows dark, sleeping inside, the people who owned everything. Isaiah didn't go to the front, didn't even look at it. He led them along the outer wall. Until he stopped. Nothing there, just brick, solid. Except it wasn't. He crouched, pressed his fingers into a gap between stones, pulled, one brick moved. Then another, silently. A hole, just wide enough. One by one, they slipped through. Inside the grounds now. No turning back. The garden stretched ahead, dark shapes, tall hedges. The house, looming above them. They crossed quickly, low, careful not to break rhythm. Every second here was borrowed time. The basement window came next, locked. At least, that's what it looked like. Isaiah tapped. Twice. Pause. Once. The latch clicked. Open. Inside, darkness, thick, they entered, closed it behind them. Now they were inside. Inside the house, of the people hunting them. Isaiah didn't stop. He moved through narrow corridors, servant passages. Spaces no one important ever used. Then, he stopped again. A wall. Plain. Decorative carvings along the panel. Nothing unusual. Except, he knew exactly where to touch. 3 presses, 2 taps. 1 slow push. Silence. Then, a shift. The wall moved. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough. A seam opening, where there wasn't supposed to be one. Behind it, stairs. Dark, narrow, real. One by one, they went down. 14 people, disappearing into something that didn't exist. Isaiah entered last. Pulled the panel shut. And just like that, they were gone. Above them, the house was quiet. Unchanged. The owners slept. Unaware. That beneath their feet, 14 people were breathing. Waiting. Hidden inside their own home. For the next 3 days, the world would search for them. dogs, patrols, hunters, every road watched, every forest combed. And none of it would matter, because Isaiah had done something no one thought possible. He didn't run. He didn't hide in the wild. He placed them in the last place anyone would ever look, right at the center of the system itself. The first hour, no one spoke. Not because they were told not to, because they didn't know if they could. The room was real, but it didn't feel real. 14 people, breathing the same air, listening to nothing, waiting for something to go wrong. Isaiah didn't sit, didn't relax. He moved along the walls, checking ventilation, airflow, every joint, every seam, everything exactly where it should be, because if anything failed, they wouldn't get a second chance. Above them, a sound, footsteps, slow, heavy, someone walking across the floor. Every head turned, instinctively. No one moved. No one breathed louder than they had to. The footsteps passed, and the room exhaled. That was when it hit them. They weren't just hiding. They were inside. Inside the house. Inside the walls. Inside the system that was trying to destroy them. The first night passed slowly. No one slept much. Every sound above felt like discovery. A chair moving, a door closing, a voice, always too close. By morning, the search had begun. They heard it immediately. Voices, louder now, men talking fast, angry, confused. They're gone, all of them. How many? Too many. The words carried through the floor, clear enough to understand, not clear enough to be comfortable. Isaiah stayed still, eyes closed, listening, because this was part of the plan. The more they spoke, the more he learned. They headed north. Send the dogs. Check the swamp routes. Every road, lock it down. Orders, decisions, all wrong. Above them, the hunt was unfolding. And for the first time, Isaiah could hear it, from the inside. The second day was worse, not because of danger, because of stillness. No movement, no change, just waiting. Time stretched, breathing slowed, thoughts got louder. What if someone checked? What if they heard something? What if the room wasn't as perfect as he believed? A child shifted, too loud. Every head snapped toward the sound. Silence. Then, above them, a chair scraped. Someone stopped walking. Right above. Listening. No one moved. No one breathed. Seconds passed. Long. Then, footsteps again. Moving away. The room exhaled, but not completely, because now they knew how close it could get. On the third night, things changed. The voices above were different, less certain, more tired. They're not here. They've crossed already. We're wasting time. Doubt. That's what Isaiah had been waiting for. Because once doubt entered, the search would shift, move away, create space. That was the window. That was when they moved. Isaiah opened his eyes, looked at the others. No speech, no explanation, just one signal. Now. Because the plan was never to hide forever. The plan was to stay invisible just long enough to disappear again. The wall opened, just as quietly as before. 14 people stepped back into the house. Nothing had changed. Same floors, same silence. Except now, they didn't belong there anymore. Isaiah moved first. Same path, same precision. Out through the basement, through the garden, back into the dark. No hesitation. Because this wasn't escape, this was movement. Across the region, 14 groups did the same. 14 houses, 14 disappearances. Reappearing, just long enough to vanish again. That's when the pattern began. Not random, not scattered. Deliberate, like pieces on a board, moving exactly where they were meant to. The second phase was harder, faster, more exposed. Groups merging, paths crossing. 14 became 7, 7 became 2. And not everyone made it. One group, too slow. Another took the wrong path. 14 people, captured, dragged back, punished. But the rest kept moving, because stopping meant losing everything. By the sixth night, they were close, closer than anyone searching for them could imagine. 2 houses, near the border. 93 in one, 93 in the other. Exhausted, hungry, but still free. And outside, the search was still happening. Dogs in the south, patrols in the west. Roads blocked, in the wrong directions. Because the people hunting them never changed how they thought. They looked outward. Isaiah had moved inward. On the final night, they didn't hide, they ran. Small groups, timed perfectly. Across fields, through water. Toward a line no one could see, but everyone felt. The border. On the other side, men were waiting. Not owners, not hunters, helpers. Guides, boats hidden along the river. Paths already cleared, hands reaching out of the dark. One by one, they crossed. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily. Until there was no one left to follow. By sunrise, March 7th, 1856, the day of the auction, 186 people were gone. Not hidden, not running, gone. Back in South Carolina, the auction still happened, but something was missing. Half the people. The numbers didn't add up. The buyers noticed. The governor noticed. Everyone noticed. But no one understood. Because they searched everywhere, except the one place they never questioned. Their own homes. The walls they trusted. The rooms they believed they controlled. Isaiah Crow was never captured. He kept moving north. Past the border. Past the system. Until one day, he stopped being property. And became something else. Free. He kept building. But not for them. For people who chose his work, not owned it, and the rooms, the hidden ones, some of them still existed. Buried inside walls, waiting to be discovered. Years later, when people finally found them, they thought they were accidents. Mistakes in construction. But they weren't. They were deliberate. Every inch measured, every space intentional. A network, built over 18 years. Used, only once. At exactly the right moment. Because Isaiah understood something most people never do. You don't always fight a system by breaking it. Sometimes, you build something inside it. And wait. Until the moment it can no longer hold.